What's up, everybody? Darrell Owens, Legacy Maker Sports Network. Of course, with me, my man. What's up, Cody Stewart, Legacy Maker Sports Network. What's up, Cody?
What's up, Darrell? How you doing, man?
Already know how we do. So, another week of our FanDuel lineup of the week, Cody Stewart's FanDuel lineup of the week. I'm glad to have Cody on, and we're going to kind of give you another lineup that you guys can kind of look into and dig into this week. And Cody's got some gambling tips for you as well. But Cody, how'd you do last week?
So, I hit on the one team that I played, or the one lineup I put in. I forgot to put in multiple ones, but the one that I gave out last week, I was looking really good. I felt that I was going to probably get maybe second or third out of the 100 people I was going against, but Emmanuel Sanders decided to not show up at all. So that kind of hurt me a little bit. Still won about $3, but still.
Yeah, I'm mad at Emmanuel Sanders. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I was in my league is out of a 3,000. I was in 147th place with one guy to go, and I'm like, man, if Sanders can give me about 15, I'm probably gonna still make some solid money off of this. I ended up getting $12, but I'm like, come on, Emmanuel, what you doing, man?
It hurt, man.
It hurt my heart. I was like, I don't know what he was thinking about. He hurt my heart. But overall last week, a little decent week. But hopefully week 3 will be phenomenal. So Cody, I know you've been kind of racking your brain this week, and Cody, kind of give us your week 3 lineup. What you got going on for this week 3 lineup?
So I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you at all. I would say week 1 and week 2, I'm not gonna say I didn't put that much thought into it, but it just kind of came easy. It was like, I'm gonna go this guy, I'm gonna go that guy. I sat for a good 45 minutes trying to decide what's going to be the perfect lineup that I think is going to hit up for a lot of money. So we're going to start at the quarterback position, Kyler Murray. Went with him last week. He did well. I'm sticking with the hot hand again this week. Going against the Detroit Lions, I feel that he's going to have a great game. I was doing a little bit of research as far as a couple of weeks into the season, what are certain defenses looking like. And as of right now, the Lions are tied in the league for giving up the most touchdowns to a quarterback this year. Once again, I know it's only been 2 weeks, but still, they're tied for giving up the most touchdowns. And they're also giving up the most rushing yards this season. So you factor in a dual threat like Kyler Murray, who obviously can throw the ball, but he can also get yards with his legs and touchdowns with his legs. I think that that's going to be a very good play this week. At the running back positions, I have Josh Jacobs and Jonathan Taylor. Josh Jacobs he's been balling. He's been balling even into last year. He won, I believe he won, well, he didn't win Rookie of the Year, but he won some award last year. And I know that he is a very good running back. Vegas is actually leaning on him a lot this year. Through the first 2 games of the season, he's averaging 30 touches a game, which is big. He's also averaging over 2 touchdowns a game. So that's very good fantasy-wise, obviously. And then, as I said, Jonathan Taylor. So we all know Marlon Mack out for the year for the Colts. They needed somebody else to step up. Jonathan Taylor, I believe, was their 2nd-round pick in the 2020 draft. And last week, he didn't disappoint at all. He had a total of 28 touches for 110 total yards against Minnesota, who they normally have a pretty good defense. So, as you know, I think you factor that in with him playing against the New York Jets this week. Me and you talked about it plenty of times. Jets probably going to be the worst team this year.
If they win a game, I'll be surprised. Let's just be honest. If they win a game, I'll be surprised. They looked so bad against San Francisco last week. I said, so when I saw my man Morsite, I'm never going to say it right, Mustard, and he got it on the first play, I was like, ooh, I said, I know we rolling now. So
what makes it even crazier real quick about the Jets is the simple fact that they lost. With the 49ers last week, they lost like 5 to 6 guys there through injury, and they still beat the Jets by like 24. So at the wide receiver positions, I'm going with DeAndre Hopkins again, DK Metcalf, and then also Darius Slayton, my boy from the New York Giants. So there's really nothing I need to say about DeAndre Hopkins. He's one of the best wide receivers in football. I think he's going to be really good against the Lions. DK Metcalf, he's averaging a touchdown a game so far this year, which is huge. And you just factor in his size, 6'4", 230. He's a matchup nightmare for any. And then I said something having Darius Slayton in the lineup. Sterling Shepard out for this game, actually out for the next couple weeks. And then obviously Saquon Barkley, he's out for the year. Sterling Shepard and Saquon Barkley so far this season has combined for 25% of the targets that Daniel Jones has thrown. Well, Darius Slayton leads the New York Giants in targets so far this year. So that 25% that Slayton and Shepard were getting, Saquon and Shepard were getting, that has to go somewhere. And I think Slayton's numbers are going to go up. At the tight end position, how about Dalton Schultz from the Dallas Cowboys? Blake Jarwin out for the year when he got injured week 1 against the Rams. He had a very, very good game against the Falcons last week, 9 receptions, 88 yards, and a touchdown. They play Seattle this week, which Seattle has a good defense, but what some might not know, they actually rank dead last in pass defense so far this year. So I'm expecting to see a lot of tight end use out of the Cowboys. I think Dalton Schultz has a good game. At my flex position, Leonard Fournette. He actually out-touched Ronald Jones last week, 16-7. And I believe he totaled over 100 yards and also had a touchdown, which is huge. And then they also played Denver this week. Denver, they've been hit with a lot of injuries so far this year as well. So I think Leonard Fournette has a very good game. And the Bucs find their stride. And then at the defense/special teams position, I'm going with the Indianapolis Colts. I'm just going to sit here and say right now, I really feel that whoever is going against the Jets, each week
is the team to go with. That's how I thought about the Dolphins last year until they started playing well. But I agree with you. I think you look at that Jets team is just bad. There's no nice way to put it. I don't blame you for putting the Colts as the defense on this line. There's no nice way to put how bad the Jets go.
So one thing about the Colts is their defense, they actually rank first in the NFL in total defense, which is great. They rank 8th in points per game given up, which is 19 a game. And then they also rank 3rd in sacks. So if none of that translates to anybody, I'll say it again. They play the Jets this week. Go ahead and play the Colts.
When it comes down to it, they are playing the Jets. I feel bad to have to talk about the Jets this way, but that's just the way it is. And I feel bad for Sam Darnold because I feel like he was out there trying his best last week. And what can you do when the organization is not giving you the pieces that you need, man? Like it's bad. Le'Veon's hurt. They just, the coach doesn't like Le'Veon. Let's just be honest. That's a whole other story for another day. So I like the Colts pick. I will also say another pick on there that I like is the Dalton Schultz pick because he did play really well last week. The only knock on him last week is he did had that fumble.
Right.
But other than the fumble, though, he had a touchdown, and he was hitting him up a couple of times. Like Dak seemed pretty comfortable going to him. I mean, Dak had a phenomenal performance himself.
He did.
4 touchdowns. So, I mean, I like the Schultz. Schultz is a really good low-end pick on that one, my man.
Definitely. So that's my lineup for this week. I really feel confident in it. Some very good names, but as we all know, with any of these lineups that you're putting in, especially NFL, you have to find that one sleeper, and I think that could be Dalton Schultz, like you said, this week. So we'll see.
We'll see.
Now, Cody, and I know last week you had a substitute, and when DK Metcalf was that substitute, and we said, man, we should have just kept DK in there, or we should have just put him in there for Emmanuel Sanders. But do you have a guy that that could be a nice substitute for people out there if they decide they want to go that route?
So I don't have one that's going to be a low end, which DK Metcalf, as far as cost goes, he doesn't cost that much. So, but I think Aaron Jones for the Packers can have a very, very good game against the New Orleans Saints this week. I mean, Josh Jacobs, I think, had 2 touchdowns against the Saints Monday night. Aaron Jones had about 29 touchdowns against Detroit last week. So I really feel like Aaron Jones would be a very good play. Or if you're looking at the wide receiver position, take DK Metcalf out and put in Tyler Lockett. Either of those 2 guys are going to ball out for Seattle, I believe.
I like. So there you go. That's Cody's lineup for the week 3 lineup. But Cody, you say you got some tips on gambling. Why don't you go ahead and give our listeners those tips that you got going on for gambling this week?
All right. So I picked 3 games this week that I'm really liking the lines or either the over/under. So I'm going to start with the Tennessee at Minnesota Vikings game. I like Tennessee at -2.5. So it's clear Kirk Cousins is missing Stephon Diggs. He is not having a good year whatsoever. The Titans so far in both games this year, they've won by 3+, which is great. And then the Vikings, on average, have lost both games by 13 points. So will the Vikings hit their stride sometime this year? Maybe. But with Tennessee coming to town, I don't see it happening this week. I think it's a lock that Tennessee beats the Minnesota Vikings by 3 or more. The second game I have is the Los Angeles Rams traveling to the Buffalo Bills. They actually have the Rams at +2.5. I truly think that the Rams are just going to flat out win the game. So if you're already giving the Rams 2.5 points, I say why not jump on it?
Right.
One thing I'll say about this, though, is the Rams defense is one of only 2 defenses in the league so far this year that's only given up 1 passing touchdown to opposing quarterbacks. Josh Allen is having a good season, but he's also gone against the Jets and the
Dolphins, right?
So I just think that this is going to be a very tough test for them. And like I said, the Rams, I think they win right out. So they're at +2.5, easy money. And then my last game I have is the Dallas Cowboys at the Seattle Seahawks. What I like about this is they have the over/under at 55.5 points. I say you smash the under on that, and I'll tell you why. These teams have played each other 7 times, including the playoffs, since 2011. It has it's never hit over 55 points. The most it's hit is 53 points. And in 5 of those 7 games, it's averaged 37 points or less. So I don't see this game being a shootout like some might think it could be. I know that we saw a shootout with the Seahawks and the Falcons week 1. We saw a shootout with the Cowboys and Falcons week 2. With the common denominator there, it's the Falcons. They don't have a very good defense. But I think that these 2 teams are going to match up. I think it's going to be a low scoring, Seahawks win maybe 24-21. Doesn't come close to that 55.5 mark. So I would say go ahead and smash that under button for this game.
I like that, and it's always a very competitive matchup between the two. Like it's always I don't see it being a knockout, drag them out type of game. Or a shootout, I should say. It should be more of a knockout, drag out type of game. So, they're gonna challenge Russell. They always do, and they'll give Dak some problems. They always do. So I like that one. I really like that one. Me personally, I got the Bills winning that Rams game. But I can completely understand why you would go with that. That Rams team is really looking like the Rams team from a couple of years ago. I was one person that said, hey, look, I was not a fan of what they were going on with the Rams. I felt like that, McVay was kind of losing it. But these last 2 weeks have given me a whole different vibe, especially against the Eagles. I was like, man, this Rams team looks different. So they're starting to look a little bit back like the team they were a couple of years ago. Especially they can keep Malcolm Brown, upright and rolling. He's been pretty good the first 2 weeks.
For sure, no doubt.
All right, everybody, you heard it here, man. This is Cody's breakdown for the week. Gave you a little gambling tips, hit you up with a FanDuel lineup. So just keep with us. We're going to bring you some more of these as we go along throughout the season. We plan on doing it all season long. So if you need something, you got to say, I need this help. Guess what? Cody is here for you. Isn't that right, Cody?
I got y'all's pockets.
All right, everybody. That was this week's FanDuel lineup. I'm Darrell Owens, Cody Stewart, LegacyMaker Sports Network. We'll catch you guys next week.